anger on the streets of Bangladesh, sparked by slavery claims of workers in Malaysia.
Please, everybody help.
This is Mafazur making a desperate plea before being deported.
How I go back Bangladesh? Now I want to suicide.
He's one of about 200 Bangladeshi workers who flew to Malaysia on the promise of a good job. Now they claim they've been subjected to forced labour and can't pay steep fees they were charged to get there.
I think it's incredibly traumatic for them. You know, they are victims of modern slavery, and they've been treated like troublesome people.
The firm they worked for, Mediceram, supplied glove moulds to Australian company Ansell.
I think it needs to be clear that Ansell is, responsible for this situation. From what we understand, they didn't do effective due diligence. Even maybe they didn't do any due diligence at all before they started sourcing from the company, even though the risks of forced labour amongst Bangladeshi workers are so high in Malaysia.
Ansell says it's helping to feed the Mediceram workers who are marooned in Malaysia and is helping to get them home. It says it cut Mediceram off after it sacked the workers. Australia's Anti-Slavery Commissioner says laws making companies disclose slavery risks are too weak.
The current law is voluntary. People are asked to report, but they don't actually have any penalties if they don't report, and there's no measurement of the quality of what's done.
He's told a government review the law should force companies to undertake due diligence in their supply chains, and he wants curbs on slave-made goods coming into the country.
This is about trying to make sure we lift the standard so that all companies are analysing their risks, identifying those and taking action to address them.
So it can become a dumping ground for slave-made goods.
Look, I think it's started already, but certainly I think we're at risk of becoming seriously impacted by unlawful or poor practice suppliers selling their goods into the Australian market because they can't get into other markets.
Slavery expert Fiona David says some products may be too cheap to be free from slavery.
I do think we have to think about what is a reasonable price range that consumers should be paying, and what are the systems and processes that we require companies to have so that consumers know that what they're buying is not based on exploitation.
Mediceram's chairman says the company's gone broke as a result of the dispute. He denies it did anything wrong and blames human rights campaigner Andy Hall, saying any genuine compassion for workers should also apply to the Malaysian workers who are unemployed because of the relentless false propaganda by Andy Hall. Andy Hall says about 30 Mediceram workers are still in limbo in Malaysia.
We often say that the migrants are like caught between two hells, a hell in their home country and a hell in the destination country.
Kmart is another big Australian company facing questions about slavery. It is in court fighting a Uyghur community group that wants details about its Chinese clothing factories.
We're very concerned because all Australian Uyghurs have family members who have disappeared, and there's credible evidence of them being taken into these labour camps to work and make the very products that are entering into this country.
For Uyghurs, the stakes could not be higher.
My people, the Uyghurs, are being genocided, erased and disappeared into these camps.
Kmart says it's disappointed the Uyghur group took it to court rather than meet with the company. The Uyghur group says it spent a year explaining its concerns to Kmart.